I'm just going to finish on this little bit of trivia, and that is, which is the oldest pub in Wales? And what we've got up here, there we are, is a couple of potential candidates. That's the one everyone says is the oldest pub in Wales, because it's got a sign outside that says the oldest pub in Wales. And it's utter nonsense. For a start, that building is 17th century, so it cannot possibly be that building. But that's what I was talking about with your workings. It depends what your definition is. So is your definition of the oldest pub in Wales the place that is a pub today in the oldest building? Is it the place where we have the oldest reference to there being a pub there, regardless of what it has been since then? Or is it the place that has continuously been a pub for the longest period of time? So it's not that straightforward. So if we're going to go for the oldest building, it's this one. And that's a 12th century building that has not been messed around with. It's an old priory on the edge of Milford Haven that is now a pub. So if that's your criteria, it's the pub in the oldest building, then it's definitely that one. If you're going to, well, let me take you through the list. There we are. So you can see what they all are. So the Skirrid. Sorry? Oh, it's all right. No, come on, let's join in. That, in my opinion, is the oldest. And the view, I mean, that's the view from their beer garden. I mean, it's a stunning place. But a lot of these, we always forget about North Wales, don't we? We're so insular down here in South Wales, focusing on our own little worlds. But no, most of them are in North Wales for the simple reason that there were more pilgrimage routes in North Wales. You know, St. Winifred, don't forget how important Holywell was. That's where Richard the Lionheart went to pray before going on the crusade. I mean, that gives you an idea. He travelled from London to Ynys in order to make those, that's really, really significant. And also James II, don't forget his relationship with his wife bore no sons until they went to St. Winifred's Well. And then within 9 months, a miracle, God be praised, they had a son. So yeah, pilgrimages have got a lot to do with older pubs being sustainable. So the oldest reference to a pub is the White Lion, again, in North Wales. Llanelian and Ross is just above Conwy. And there is an 8th century document that refers to a gathering of elders at an inn next to the church of St. Elian. And that is exactly where that pub stands. But the pub that's there now is an 18th century building. It's clearly not the same building, but that is definitely the oldest reference to a pub in Wales. And let me tell you one little snippet about Llanelian. It's the only example of this I've ever heard of. You know how a lot of churches, you have a well where you drop a coin in and you can wish for something wonderful to happen, and that's the outcome. Llanelian has a cursing well. So you drop money in and you wish for something really horrible to happen to somebody you don't like. And this practice went on for about 200 years. And obviously it was a con, and we know it's a con because there are records that say that people came back to the church, so clearly a jilted lover had wished for something horrible to happen to their partner, and then they'd reconciled and thought, oh gosh, I better do something about this curse. Gone back to the priest and said, look, is there a way I can lift the curse? Yes, but it will cost you twice as much. So it was a scam of the worst kind. And finally a vicar took over the parish who stamped out this practice and filled in the well. But there we are, that's the oldest reference that we've got. Tŷ Mawr, again, North Wales, 1080 is the reference to that. But again, you can see none of these are in their original buildings. The Skirrid, cheekily enough to put a sign outside saying it's the oldest pub in Wales, it's the third oldest reference, and it's definitely not the oldest building. So that is clearly nonsense. There's the old house, only one above the Skirrid. The Priory is the building I showed you, and so on. Cross Keys is surprisingly old. That again is part of a priory hospital that got closed down during the dissolution. But that's an incredibly old building. There's our local. I mean, I'm not sure about that 1380 date. There's bits of it that could potentially be that old, but it's definitely not been a pub for that entire period. There's long periods when it was a house. But then in Wales, the lines were blurred. You know, you would often go to a farm and say, sorry, I'm a traveller, I'm thirsty, can I have a drink? So does that count? You know? This is why I'm talking about the blurred lines. But there we are. That's why my answer is the Groes in Conwy. It's definitely true. They have hanging on the wall, as you go up the stairs, the original license from 1573. It's there for you to go and look at. So that, without a shadow of a doubt, is the place that has been a pub in perpetual use for the longest period of time, and that's what it looks like. So there we are. That is me done. But I'm happy to take questions on this fascinating subject. Thank you very much. Thank you.